Why did you spend all those money on those sneakers? Because I can tell you 80% of the people can't tell the difference if they are $50 or $500. People actually don't care about how it sounds. It's because they don't care about your music, and that's not something you want. But no, let's lower the bar because fuck the elite. But the same people don't realize that they are worshiping now another type of elite, which they didn't even put the work in. Hello everyone, welcome back to MixBest TV. Hope you're having a great day. Disclaimer, this video is gonna be kind of a long rant and it's probably gonna upset some people, but today, even if you sneeze wrong, someone is gonna get offended, so it is what it is. And it's gonna be about a very sad trend that is going on in the music industry, in the music business, but also on the technical side. So mixing, mastering, producing, but also composing music and writing music. Hopefully it will be constructive and eye-opening to some extent. So let's get to it. Before going into the rant, check the info box down below, all the links, blah, 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 blah. And if you want to support the channel and access to the exclusive mixing and mastering courses, click the join button down here, become a MixBest TV member. Let's get to it, and I'm not gonna pretend I'm not gonna read from time to time on this one because I had to write down some key points. Nobody can't hear the difference. The listener can't tell. People don't care what you used. Just get the plugin, it sounds the same. These are some of the obnoxiously common lines that I read on various forums, IG, and even worse, Facebook groups now. And to be honest, I'm really tired of hearing those things, which unfortunately kind of reflect a lot our society right now, which is let's glorify mediocrity. Cheap and easy and fast. And this is not just the audio world and the music industry, but is pretty much every professional and non-professional field. People trying to lower the standards because they can't reach the standards, let alone be on top of it. A participation award for everyone. The glorification of the average, or worse, the sub-average, to the point of talking down and diminishing the people who do things right. That they invested years on work and training, they invested time and money in their tools, they're almost looked sideways. That's overkill. You don't need all that. You don't need the gear. You don't need all those plugins either. You don't need speakers. You don't need anything. You don't need training. You don't need experience. You only need skills, but apparently the skills now are God-given to everyone. But in most cases, don't people saying that they never really worked in a professional environment with professional tools. And here's the first thing that at some point got sideways, I think. And I know why, because technology made a lot of things easier, but here's the thing. Not everyone can be an artist, not everyone can be a composer, not everyone can be a mix and mastering engineer. Just like not everyone can be a doctor or a brain surgeon though, but technology, like I said, made a lot of things easier, and specifically it made it easy to try or pretend to be a pro or an artist or a composer or a producer. And that's not just the DAWs and the plugins, but the pictures and the cameras and the video editors and all that. Because in the era of Instagram and social media, it's almost most important what you make people believe you are than what you actually are. Some people don't want to spend years on learning how to mix or master. They don't want to spend years learning how to produce or compose or write music either. And they don't want to make sacrifices or work hard to save money, to invest in their education, tools, gear, whatever that is. Instead, it's, oh, let's lower the bar so we can all do it, and fuck the elite. And we'll talk about the elite later, but let's talk specifically about gear for a second, because there's still a lot of that going on. You don't need analog. You know what? The day that that's gonna be actually the case, that we don't need all this, we are all gonna cheer because our power bills are gonna go down. We can sell everything and go buy a new car or house or go on a long vacation and still deliver top-notch mixes, because the more skillful are still gonna be the more skillful, more experienced and more creative. But why this practice of talking down greatness? And hear how absurd it sounds when you say it out loud. Does it work to some extent? Because, and this goes for every field, not just audio, and I'll give you some examples later, because those who can't outnumber by a lot the ones who can. And they are also extremely vocal. And some music genres don't help, unfortunately, because in the end, the music business is a business. And now more than at any other point in history, with majors run by financial companies, basically, there's only one bottom line: profit. And when that's the bottom line, you know what suffers the most? The art, the artist, the quality, and the users. Big labels have been playing the same game for a while now. Let's lower the bar so low so we don't depend so much on those few talented people that we have to pay and would have more power than we have. Instead, let's lower the bar so we can pick any dog to do the job and it can be replaceable. Meantime, they make band, the artists are paid very low or they're broke. They have to rent stuff to make people believe. And most important and sad, the music gets worse and worse and worse. Independent music and artists have so much more quality than what's on charts right now. And those are the artists who really care about their music, their art. They want the best, not good enough. They want professionals to work with. They want to be proud of their music. They want it to sound the best it can, and they want their vision realized. But this glorification of mediocrity happens really in all fields. Take photography, for example. Professional photographer versus your buddy. Nobody's gonna see the difference. My cousin takes amazing pictures with his phone. Really? Like this? This is the same photo shoot me and Bella did some time ago. This one was taken with my phone by a buddy of mine. This one is the same exact pose, taken by a professional photographer. Picture of our engagement. Buddy with the phone, professional photographer. They don't know what camera was used, or what lens was used, or what lights were used. But you can see the difference. And I don't know if sometimes people really can't see the difference, even though if they're a musician, they should, or they just tell themselves that it doesn't matter. I've seen an advertisement saying Victoria's Secret's models versus real women. Real women? Are you kidding? Because you think those girls didn't work their ass off and just woke up one day and they were like that? And even if that was the case, are they not real women because of that? Do you think they don't have to do anything to maintain what they have? What makes them not real women? But no, let's lower the bar because fuck the elite. But the same people don't realize that they are worshiping now another type of elite, which they didn't even put the work in. And why they do it? Because the other type, it's relatable. And the thought process is, even if it's unconscious, if they made it, omitted, without working hard, or without experience, or without investing in tools, or without you want to believe that you don't need, but you actually would need, I can make it too. And in some cases that happens, but there's always a catch. And there's always something that you don't know about that story, that artist, that celebrity, that successful person. Especially in the music business, but in any field really, there's almost always a chunk of information that you don't know. Because you might know part of the story, but you miss that piece of information. Then once you know it, you realize that is unreachable for 90% of people. Look at my videos on Billie Eilish. They talk down what's hard to achieve. They diminish the hard work of others, almost demonizing or bullying working hard to achieve something. Instead, they glorify average, and all of that because positivity. That's not positivity, that's toxic positivity. That's the death of evolution, is the death of meritocracy, where the best should get the job, where the one that works harder should be rewarded. And we see this behavior in the music business. Oh, I like that guy because he did everything on his laptop and with Logic. Or I like this guy because he doesn't use speakers, he's doing on headphones. Okay, first of all, it's a very bad habit to take exceptions as a rule, okay? It would be like me saying, oh, Dan Green squat 1,000 pounds, so I can do it too. No, I can't. For a lot of reasons that I'm not gonna explain here. But mind you, I don't blame the people that try to hack the system and go for the cheap and easy way. Why? Because some of them are successful. You probably have more chances of winning at the lottery because that's why it's called the system, because they know better. But few people made it, so more power to them. And also because, believe it or not, I'm for everyone to win. If there's someone successful, I cheer for them. I'm not a bitter or jealous person by nature. And not only I cheer for them, but I want to study them. I want to befriend if possible. I want to know and see how they did it. Doesn't matter how. Now, my personal work ethic is that I like to earn my successes. It doesn't matter big or small, because first of all, because there's always going to be someone more successful than you. So your competition should be yourself. And second, because no matter how big or small your success is, if you worked hard for it, it tastes a lot better. It makes you grow. It makes you more confident in doing more and be better. But I also look and admire those people who do trick the system. You know why? Because the system is rigged. especially the music business. What I don't like is to pretend that average is the same as greatness, or that there is no difference, or that the difference doesn't matter. And sorry, but fortunately, that will never be the case. And it's true that some people cannot tell the difference, but this happens in every field. Want an example? Take this car. Great car, but sure shit isn't this one. And I promise you, many people will not tell the difference, will not tell them apart either, and they will think that those few differences they can pick out are not that important. But I bet you would still get the second car if you could. But most important, even if you didn't pick the second car, that will not stop manufacturers and try to be better than the competition, or even just better than what they did before. You won't stop those people who strive for greatness and they always want to be better, to make better things and to evolve. It's gonna be the guy that thinks that details don't matter that's gonna be left behind. In the music, I think this kind of boils down to one simple thing. Why are you making music? Some people today see music as an easy and quick way to make money and to gain fame and popularity. If that's the case, of course they will say things like, the listener doesn't hear a difference. Well, maybe because they can't hear a difference. If the bottom line is money or fame or play pretend, they don't really pay that much attention to hear a difference sometimes. Like I said, not everyone in the end can be an engineer or an artist or have great ears or taste. And also, if that's the case, they probably just don't care. And it's funny because there seem to be two measures, right? The production and the mixing and the mastering, because the mixing and the mastering, the tools are expensive, right? We all know, I mean, the analog tools, the plugins too, but the analog is a lot more expensive. And you see always this can't tell the difference. But if people can't tell the difference, why you spent a day on that amazing transition that people will never notice? Or why you spend 6 hours picking that one snare when people don't know the difference between that snare and the other 6 gigabytes of snare that you have in the library, right? So why you spend all that time on it? Why the bass player worked so hard on a bass line, nobody's gonna hear the difference, or the guitarist on that bending, nobody's gonna hear the difference, right? Because those are the people who care about their music, because it's their passion, it's their drive. And because deep down, if you've been making music on any of the stages, writing, producing, mixing, mastering, you know that every detail counts to make the final product. Here's the stupid example. Let's go back to the car. 800 horsepower, it rips, it looks great, 100K. I'm gonna flatten one of your tires. What, $200? How small of a detail that is? Like 10%? Like when people say, oh, analog gear will only give you 10%? How that car drives now? Can you use all your 800 horsepower? How does it do in turns? How those great brakes work now? Can you even go on a straight line? No, you can't. That's how it works. I'm gonna go inside and take away your probably $300 wheel drive, and I'm gonna put a toy one. You can still drive the car. How's the overall experience if you drive like this with that? You see, this is why the percentage game is stupid. This is why, oh, that detail doesn't count. Because you start taking out details here and there, and you end up with the other car. Now you see, it's just up to you and what you care about. What are your priorities? Why did you spend all those money on those sneakers? Because I can tell you 80% of the people can't tell the difference if they are $50 or $500. You see how silly it is? It's like having a great video and a great photo shoot and your IG all cool, but your music is subpar. And mind you, this only happens usually when there's no investment in the product, in the music, whether it's the music or any other product. Because when there is an investment and you try to go into a market, so you could lose the investment, believe me, everybody wants the best and want to make sure that the product is as good as it can be. It's like the chest and bicep people at the gym, that they do only chest and biceps. So you see them from the front, they kind of look good. And then they turn and have no back and they are weak as shit. Why would you want to do that? You see, people don't see it, don't notice it. People do notice. And people in the music industry and the audience see where you fall short. And if people actually don't care about how your final product is and how it sounds, it's because they don't care about your music, and that's not something you want. I think if you treat your listeners, your audience, your customers as they are stupid, you're gonna get the same back. And some people will say, oh, I tried a professional mastering engineer or a professional mixing engineer and I didn't like it. I like what I do better. Breaking news, unless your skills are pro-like and at that point you have a career and you can mix for others, you found an engineer that suck. And there are many out there because for the same reason at the beginning, everybody plays pretend today. But this happens in any profession. There are mechanics that suck, there are doctors that suck, there are hairstylists that suck. It's hard to find people that are competent in this business specifically, and also people you have a synergy with, because we're talking about art. So they have to understand your psychology and your message and everything about you to be able to work together to get that amazing final result. And the same thing goes for analog versus plugin. Not all analog is great. There are some units that suck, and there are some others that will never be touched. And there are some plugins that are great, and analog cannot do the things that plugins do. But analog is not going anywhere for this and probably the next 3-4 lifetimes. We already have digital recalls. We had so many massive improvements in the analog world because manufacturer kept making better and better gear, and so plugins. But if this trend of glorifying mediocrity and lowering the bar keep going, it's gonna be very sad for the next generations, many from now, because the overall quality at this point of everything is gonna be so low and they will not even know because they will be born into that lower standard. And that's sad. Anyway, this came out a lot longer than I planned and kind of all over the place. But this wasn't really specifically about music only or gear or music production or whatever else. It's more about a mindset and a drive that I personally think should be there no matter what you do and no matter how successful you are or you're going to be. In any case, I hope the video was useful or at least entertaining. Leave a comment down below, leave a like, subscribe if you haven't already, follow MixBus TV on all social media pages. There are big, great news going on there and soon many giveaways. Thank you for watching. Stay safe. See you next time.
Hands on my neck, hands get my throat. Lift me up, man, take control. Heart is so gone, my type. Don't you know I fall for the bad type? You play the role of an angel pretty well.